What's going on, guys? T-Mart here, and no, I sound awkward, Trev. Redo it. I don't like that. I'm hungry. Oh, Trev, this microphone smells really bad. What's going on, guys? Nope, that was too loud. Didn't like that. Okay. What's going on, guys? T Martin here, and Hollerhaw 16.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna take control of this here. So what's going on, guys? T Mart here, and today we are starting up a video that you guys have been long awaiting, a dual com with my girlfriend Haley. So what's up?
Hi, everybody. We're really excited to finally be doing this video. It's kind of taken us a while to get around to, but we're both really looking forward to it. So let's kind of recap how we met and our story.
That's right. So in this video today, we're just going to be kind of talking amongst ourselves about our relationship, how we met, how I first asked her out, some of the first dates and cool things we've done so far, and just kind of recap the relationship for you guys, because I thought some of you guys might find that interesting. And then tomorrow, we're actually going to be doing a second part to this dual com series where we're going to answer your questions. And I got about 50 questions, a little over 50 questions from you guys on the YouTube comments of my 1,000,000 subscriber week announcement video that we're going to be answering, that you guys asked us both about the relationship, about gaming, and about a bunch of random stuff. So it should be pretty fun. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into the video. All night long he was like, Haley, I love you, please kiss me at midnight. Even after the party, we were walking through the cornfields back to our cars, and he was just saying how much he loved her. So it was really awkward, and I still remember her. She was in a gray top and then black skirts, and she honestly took my breath away. I'm not trying to kiss ass right now. She took my breath away when I saw her. So that was the first time that I really took notice of her, and I think she told some of her friends that she thought I was really cute at that party too, right?
Yes, I did. I was friends with actually the girl who was hosting the party, so it was at her house, and so about 5 girls stayed the night that night. And I just remember waking up the next morning talking to my best friend at the time about, who was that guy there? There were 3 of them, and the really tall guy was really cute. I've seen him in the halls, but I don't know his name. Do you know who he is? And, she knew who he was, so she told me all about him, and just that his name was Trevor and that he was 2 grades above us. And Yeah, that's kind of what happened. I don't know.
So, again, this one was, a little bit better than just, sitting next to each other at a basketball game. Like, we really both took notice of each other, but we didn't do anything about it. And finally, it's really, really embarrassing because she kind of made the first move on me, which is not something that should happen, but it did. So, how it happened, how we first started talking is when I was at E3 in 2012 last year. I took a picture of the Activision booth. They were showing off the next Call of Duty for Black Ops 2 and things like that. And Haley actually commented on it, and her comment, which I'll show on screen, was, "You are so cool. I'm jealous of your life. Come back to Champaign and hang out with me." And because of that comment, I thought, wow, this girl, she's taking notice to me. She's, reaching out to talk to me. I've got to hit her back. So we kind of like casually DM'd over Twitter over the next couple of days because we followed each other on Twitter because we went to the same school and everything. And I was actually flying back home for a weekend after E3 before I drove out to LA because I was moving out to LA. So we kind of set some plans to hang out that night. And what happened?
Well, it's a little bit of a tough subject for me to talk about, but like Trevor said, we kind of set up some plans to meet that night. So I had told my mom, like, "Hey, Mom, here's this guy, here's a picture of him. We've kind of been texting, nothing serious, met him, kind of got to know him New Year's Eve, nothing serious again, Mom, like, don't panic, but I'm thinking of going to hang out with him tonight, so I'm going to hang out with him, like, wish me luck." And, she was all excited about this new little romance in my life, and so I get ready, and I spent a lot of time getting ready. Like, I can't even tell you.
And I must tell you, it's one of the prettiest, like, a picture she took that night is one of the prettiest pictures I've ever seen of her. She's the background on my phone right now. I'll show it on screen, but she looked absolutely gorgeous. But anyway, keep going.
So I took a long time to get ready because I just wanted to impress him. Like, he's just seemed so awesome and so cool, and I thought he was so cute at New Year's Eve. Like, I had to look good, just like I did for New Year's Eve. So I got ready, and a couple of my friends came and picked me up, and we went out, and we went to a little party thing, and I was just waiting all night for Trevor to finally text me and say, "Hey, I'm ready to hang out. Like, where do you want to meet up?" So I just kept waiting, awkwardly socializing at this party. Wasn't really my crowd. I was ready to leave, but I just didn't want to go home until Trevor texted me. So I kept waiting, and it was about 12:30, and I still hadn't heard anything. And, my curfew was probably 12 at the time, but I didn't make it home until 1 because my mom was being a little lenient since she knew I was supposedly hanging out with Trevor. But he ended up never texting me. So at about 12:45, I was like, you know what? I'm done. Like, I'm going home. So I go home. My mom was waiting up for me. She's anxiously waiting to talk about how the night went. And at first, I think I actually lied to her, and I think I told her, like, "Oh, yeah, it was good. He was nice. He was cute. I don't know if there's really any interest there, though." But, I can't keep many things from my mom, so I think later that night, actually, because she was staying up and watching a movie, I came back up, and I was like, "No, you know what, Mom? Like, he ditched me. He never texted me. He blew me off." And I think her response was something along the lines of, "Well, he's a douchebag anyways. You don't need him."
Something like that. So, first of all, that's a terrible first impression for the mother of a girl that you're interested in. And second of all, I ditched, kind of blew off this insanely beautiful girl on a date we could have gone on, or we could have hung out or something like that. So I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest, because I could have hung out with her. I really wasn't doing anything that night, but I was feeling kind of tired. Part of me just thought, what's the point of me talking to this girl or trying to make this work when I'm leaving for California in a day? I'm going to be halfway across the country. It wouldn't even work. Why should I even try? So that's why I kind of blew her off. So anyway, then over the next day or so, I was getting ready, packing up to move to California and everything like that. And I just, probably 24 hours later, I realized, like, this could be a mistake. Like, I should probably at least, try to text her and, see where this can go. If anywhere, it'll give me some entertainment for the drive and things like that. And so I started texting her, and we really...
Wait, hang on. So he says that it was 24 hours, but I can tell you, I vividly remember waiting 3 days for a text, like, at least an apology text saying, "Hey, I'm sorry, I got caught up in things, couldn't hang out, like, had to meet up with some old friends before I left, and like, had to get some last hangouts in. And 3 days passed until he texted me. Not 24 hours. Not 24 hours. So you are wrong.
Okay, well, I thought it was 24 hours. It might have been 3 days. But anyway, I did finally text her because I realized what an idiot I was, how pretty this girl was, how cool she is. I needed to make it work. So I started texting her, and as I was driving out to California, it was like a 4 or 5 day process. Things really started to kind of hit it off, and it was a lot of fun. We really, kind of meshed well as you can over texting. It seemed like the conversation really flowed pretty well, which doesn't often happen with a lot of people. So the one text that I vividly remember is the text that I was like, wow, this girl is like, she's really into me, and I really need to try to, come back home at some point and try to make this work, see if we can do some long distance thing. Is one night we were texting, and she was falling asleep in her bed, and she didn't have her charger, and she told me that she had 4% left, and I was like, well, I guess you got 4% left to decide if I'm worth it. And then she texted me back a picture of her phone plugged in that it was charging, and she's like, I guess you're worth it. And knowing Haley, who can be a very, very, very lazy girl at times, getting out of bed when she's already in bed getting to go to sleep is a pretty big deal. So at that point in time, I knew that this is something that could possibly work out, so I knew it was worth chasing. Now, over the next month or so, we just kind of continued to talk. I was getting settled in California and everything like that. And I don't ever really think we talked on the phone or Skyped or FaceTimed a lot. We were just, kind of sticking to texting, which is a little bit boring. But it's whatever. And we kind of made, like, plans for her to come out and see me at some point. And they weren't actual plans. It was just kind of, like, jokey talking, like, oh, yeah, you should totally hop in a plane and fly halfway across the country to meet a boy you've never met. But, we kind of talked about it. We talked about, maybe meeting up sometime. And finally, we decided to make those plans a reality. So on July 19th, I decided I was going to fly back home for like a week and a half, be able to see my mom, my family, my friends, and get to see her, and we could go on some dates. So our first date was the night of July 19th. What happened?
On July 19th, let's see. Let me remember. No, I'm just kidding. We went to the movie theater to go see Batman: The Dark Knight Rises. And to be completely honest, I think I fell asleep during the movie.
I think we both did.
Yeah, it was a great flick, but it was late. I think we went to the midnight premiere, if I'm remembering correctly. Yeah. And, it was Trevor and I, and then one of his friends, and my friend, a mutual friend, and his girlfriend.
And the really funny thing is this friend that went with us was the same friend that was professing his love for her on New Year's Eve. So it's a weird little love triangle there.
So you can see it's a little awkward for me, because here's this guy who was professing his love, and then I ended up going for his friend. So it's a little, like he said, weird little love triangle, but he had a girlfriend too, so we made a nice little double date out of it. And so anyways, Trevor and I both probably ended up falling asleep, and we didn't hold hands or anything, I don't think. I think we were both a little nervous. I mean, here you are texting to texting this person and stuff, and
for a month and a half, 2 months. Like it's almost like we've been dating but not dating. So, we've developed this relationship even though it hasn't been in person, so it was weird.
So then as soon as we get in person with each other, it's just a little different. I mean, definitely still conversation was flowing, but you could definitely tell that both of us were feeling, nervous, and we didn't want to say the wrong thing. So that's how it started off, and
so to get her to the movie, I actually went and picked her up in my mom's drop-top Mustang, which was pretty cool. And I remember, think about talking to a girl for 2 months and never actually seeing her in person. Think about how nervous you would be first walking up to the door to meet her and meet her mom and stuff like that. So I actually, when I pulled up to her street, I decided I was a little bit too nervous. I didn't want to pee my pants. So I got out and peed in the middle of the street, and then got back in the car, drove to her house, walked up to the door and picked her up. So I had to get out and pee before I even went and met her, because I didn't want to do it in my pants. So that was that. And then after the movie, we went back to her house, and it's honestly kind of crazy, but later that night she had me folding her clothes. Like, she has this top shelf in her closet that she puts all her sweatshirts on that she can't reach by herself. So my 6'4" height kind of helped her out there. And she already had me whipped folding her clothes by after the first date, which is pretty crazy.
And so this is kind of backtracking a bit, but speaking of 6'4", I know a lot of you comment about how tall he is and how short I am, but let me just tell you something. If you think I am short, you guys need to see my mom. This girl is 4'11", which is 2 or 3 inches shorter than I am, and so when he came in to first meet my mom, and pretty much meet me too, he came up and we hugged, and then he awkwardly, I will add very awkwardly, gave my mom a hug, and here he is, this 6'4" man that her daughter's about to go out with, and here's this little 4'11" woman, and they exchange just an awkward, I don't even know what a better word is, but they exchange this little encounter.
Yeah, it was pretty awkward, but I love her mom to death. She's a really, really great person, so I know it's all good. Now, the next day after our first date, we hung out like all day, and we ended up going to the drive-in, which is a really, really fun date idea, especially if you've, kind of just started dating somebody. The drive-in is a lot of fun because there's a lot of people around. There's a lot of kids playing games, and you can, eat food, play frisbee, soccer, football, all kinds of stuff. And then at the end of all that, once you've got the awkwardness out and you start to feel a little bit more comfortable, then you get to sit and cuddle and watch a movie. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. So that was a really, really good date. And actually, during this date, oh my gosh, what was going on? What happened during the date?
Okay, so during the date, we'll show you a little picture so you can see just how awful this was. I'm not exaggerating. I do this little, I don't want to say modeling because it's not really modeling, but there's this local photography team, and they get teens, like high schoolers, to do photo shoots for them, kind of as like a junior class, senior class, whatever class you are, to promote their business. So I was chosen as one of the junior models, and one of their requirements is you have to go through one of their partnering businesses, which was a spray tan company. So before you can do this photo shoot, you have to get a spray tan. I was not feeling it, never gotten a spray tan before, never been one to, fake bake in the tanning bed. I was really all about getting my tan naturally from like soccer and stuff like that. But, so, my mom was like, Haley, you gotta do it. So I went that next day after our first date, and I got this spray tan in the morning. And at first, it looked so good. I was so happy with it. And then, a couple hours go by, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm looking at myself, and here I am. And I looked ridiculous.
Like an Oompa Loompa. Honestly, like an Oompa Loompa.
That's honestly the perfect way to say what I looked like. I had this, I don't even know, orange color to me, and it was my whole body and like my face, and I'm a very dark-headed girl, so when you put this like orange skin with this dark hair and these dark eyes and then these pretty, I like to think I have pretty white teeth, I just looked ridiculous.
It was, yeah.
So,
the Crayola puked all over you,
oh,
so it was...
Come on, that's a little harsh.
But anyway, even through that, it was a pretty good date.
Yeah, it was, and we just had a great time. We did everything from playing frisbee with my little brothers to playing soccer, which I kicked his butt, by the way.
Yeah, she is pretty good.
And so anyways, the date was just going on. It was going really well, and there was this little group of kids about the same age as my brothers. I've got two, one that's 10 and one that's 3, so there's a pretty big age gap there. We're all 7 years apart. So there's this group of kids, and we all decide, like, hey, let's have some fun. Let's go play ball with them. Like, we got here super early. There's still, like, 45 minutes till the movie starts. So we all get together, and we start playing this, I don't even know, like, color game. They guess a color, and you run. I couldn't even explain to you what we were doing because we honestly didn't know. We just ran and pretended like we did because,
right.
We don't want to be the old ones and not understanding the game. So we just kept playing, and this little girl just kept stopping like every minute, and she would just stare at Trevor. And so finally, I think Trevor kind of looked at her like, what's wrong, dude? Like, I have something on my face. Like, what's going on? And she's just like, you just look a lot like a giraffe. And so then all of the kids started cracking up like it was just the funniest thing they had ever heard. And every single one of them started calling him Giraffe. And so it's kind of funny because we've got a little inside thing, the corny little boyfriend-girlfriend inside jokes. And one of ours is the Giraffe. He's my Giraffe, and I've got a little Giraffe keychain that I take with me everywhere I go just so I can think about him. And so yeah, that actually, his Giraffe nickname came that night of the drive-in, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that was good. That little girl was actually kind of rude because she told us that we wouldn't make a good couple. Like, she said that we should, didn't she tell us we should break up or something like that? She wasn't happy with what was going on there. I have no clue why. But I don't know. She sensed something that I guess we didn't. But we proved her wrong so far. So
yeah, so take that, little girl.
yeah, screw you. But anyway, so I believe that was the 20th. Now, the next night on the 21st was the night that I asked her to be my girlfriend. Now, some people may think, like, oh, wait, Trev, you just met her on the 19th and you're asking her out on the 21st when you've hung out twice? Like, isn't that kind of fast? Well, I mean, it is a little bit quick, but you also have to keep in mind that we had been talking for nearly 2 months now. You know, although it was via text message, I think a lot of you guys will understand the relationship you can develop over kind of the cyberspace. Like, a lot of us have Xbox friends that we've never actually met in real life that we still consider good friends. So that's kind of what was going on there. So at this point in time, I knew that this was a girl that I would love to have as my girlfriend. I wanted to ask her out. So what happened is I actually stayed the night that night. I don't remember why, but I slept on your couch because
I think that it was just, sorry to interrupt, but I think it was just really late. I think we went to like a double showing. So we saw one movie I think it started at 8, and movies last about 2 hours, and so that ended at 10, and then we watched another movie, and this place is close to 45 minutes to an hour away from our hometown. So think about it, you're getting home about 1 o'clock. It just seemed easier. I don't know why my mom kind of went for it. She just said, as long as he sleeps on the couch, I'm fine with that. So he did.
Yeah, so I slept on the couch, and she had to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning to take a friend somewhere or drop some clothes off for a friend or something like that. So I set my alarm for 4:45. Like, I'd been planning this the night before. I set my alarm for 4:45, and I got up, and I was kind of standing there above her bed, like pondering if I should do this and kind of like gaining up the guts to do this. Like, I didn't think that I was actually going to do it until I thought of the fact that if she woke up at this point in time and saw me like creepily standing at the foot of her bed staring at her, she would think I was crazy. So I finally just kind of jumped in bed on her at 4:45 or 4:50 in the morning, and I was like, hey, I really like where things are going. Do you want to be my girlfriend? And what'd you say?
I, of course, said no.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I think I was a little startled considering it was at, 5 o'clock in the morning, and it scared me more than anything, and I am not a morning person. Like, if you wake me up, it is game over. I am going to give you the silent treatment all day. Just do not mess with me in the morning. So I was really caught off guard, and so part of me thinks I just said yes because I didn't know what else to say, but, I'm just kidding. I said yes.
I just gave her a death stare. I thought she was serious.
Yeah, it's 5 in the morning, and he's just waking me up, so... But yeah, I said yes, and I think we shared maybe an
our
awkward,
first kiss.
Really, I'm going to say awkward because it's true.
It was awkward, yeah, because I went for like the, not necessarily make out, but kind of like open lip kiss, where you kind of like hug somebody else's lip. Like, I went for her bottom lip and tried to do like a little bit more open thing, whereas she more went for the peck.
I was just tired. I was ready to get back to bed. Like, all right, man, you asked me out. I said yes. Kiss me. Let me go back to bed.
Right.
So,
yeah. We had different ideas in mind, so I was a little bit awkward, but that was our first kiss. We quickly made up for it. I think the next night listening to Ed Sheeran. But
Kiss
yeah.
Me. The song is called Kiss Me, so that's pretty ironic. So if anyone wants to listen to that, it's Kiss Me by Ed Sheeran. Pretty cool little song there.
So yeah, I asked her out. She said yes, and that's, I guess, our anniversary, or whatever you want to say, July 21st, 2012. So
at 4:46 a.m.
Yes, that's right. So we're almost at our 1 year. Like, we're getting really, really close to our 1 year, which is pretty cool. So anyway, after that happened, I really didn't have much time left in town, which, it sucks to have this awesome girl you've had a lot of fun with, ask her out, and then end up having to go back halfway across the country and not seeing her. So I flew back to California a couple of days later, and then when's the next time we saw each other?
Not too long after that, my mom had gotten the opportunity to meet Trevor and get to know him, and she could tell he was definitely a really nice kid.
I wasn't the douchebag she said I originally was.
Yeah, that stood her daughter up and almost made her cry. But, and she had known that he was a really nice kid and that we were really just feeling each other, and that this relationship, given the opportunity, could really go somewhere. And, a big roadblock at the time was definitely the distance. So my mom has always been one to help me out and support me in any way, shape, or form that she could. So it took a little bit of convincing, and there were some strings and some real big complications, but I got it organized. I asked my mom, I said, hey mom, Trevor wants us to come out, I promise I'll bring a friend with me so it won't just be me if anything happens. Like, we're gonna get a house out there. We can just cook dinners, make lunches, stay on the beach, like just have a good time, you know, right before I go into my senior year. My birthday will be like a week after this trip. It'll just be the best birthday present you can give to me is to go on this trip to California out to see him. And so, you know, of course, at first she was like, Haley, Anna, you are crazy for even asking me this. Like, I barely know this kid. You barely know this kid. Like, no, you are not going all the way out to California without me. You know, you've never done anything really like that without supervision. And, so I actually put together this PowerPoint.
This thing was awesome. I'm going to try to find it to put parts of it on this video. I don't know if I'll be able to because it's pretty old, but it was really cool.
I really, really love making PowerPoints. It's like a guilty little pleasure of mine. I'm really good at it too. And so I made a PowerPoint, and it was basically just this big proposal telling my mom, you know, here's the pros, here's the cons, here's what I promise I will do if you let me. And it was just this long list of like cleaning and doing really tedious tasks, like, you know, scrubbing the floors and getting all of the like gum and whatever was even on our floors at the time, and like we have a basement kitchen full of old pictures, and it's just a huge mess, like from floor to ceiling full of stuff. And she put on the list that I had to organize that. So I was definitely taking on a lot of responsibility and sacrificing a lot to do this, but I knew that it was definitely something that I wanted to do. So
I'm worth it.
Yeah, of course. So I showed her the PowerPoint, and you know, she said, hey, here's this list of, you know, 25, 30 some things that you have to do. You get these done, you can go. You pay for it, you can go. So I just rounded up some money. Luckily I had some money in my savings, so it didn't cost me too much. Got a friend, got everything all set up, and I just worked my butt off to get that list done of things.
Yep, and she got it all done. Like, I mean, it's crazy the amount of stuff that she had to do in order to have this little like 5-day trip out to California. But she got it done. That was just another thing that kind of proved to me, like, wow, this girl, she's definitely a keeper. She's definitely somebody that I want to spend some time with.
And I think that my mom was really caught off guard at the fact that I had finished everything. So, you know, I think she wasn't necessarily wanting me to go, but I had finished everything, and that was the deal we made. So, you know, that was all she could do. And, you know, like I said earlier, there were some serious complications. It's a really long story, but long story short, one of my friends bailed out, so I had to quickly find a new one. Also, my ride for the airport bailed out like 2 hours before we had to leave for the airport, so I had to find a ride. And then, to make matters even worse, my friend, when she called to cancel her ticket, she also canceled mine. So, and this flight was totally full. My new friend who was going to go with me was on this flight. Like, I had to get on this flight. Trevor was already going to pick us up from the airport. Everything was set. So here I am. I had no ticket. My friend was on a full flight, and it was just no ride to the airport. It was awful. So stressful. I think I cried and cried and cried just because I was so stressed and, you know, furious that my friend could do this to me. And so anyways, I got a ticket on the next flight out, which I think left about 4 hours later than Emma, which was okay. She just kind of had to hang out in the airport by herself. And I had a layover in Colorado, and then, so, you know, Emma waited there for me, and then when I finally got to the airport, Trevor came and picked us up. So it all worked out pretty well. It definitely could have gone a lot smoother, but, you know, I got there, we made it safely, so, and we had a good time with Emma, so we're really glad that she could go, and it ended up being a good trip.
Right, yeah, at least you got there, even through all of those problems. Now, as for the California vacation, I'm just going to kind of flash some pictures on the screen that you guys can see some of the stuff we did. Where we stayed was, I rented a house in Venice. So if you guys don't know, Venice is like a super well-known place, historical place. It's got the boardwalk, and it's really kind of an eclectic place. Like, there are a bunch of different people that you can meet and see, and there's like Muscle Beach and the skate park and vendors and, you know, all kinds of stuff. So it was a really cool place to stay, and we were actually only like a block away from the beach. So we would literally step out of our front door, walk a block, and we'd be on Venice Beach, which was pretty cool. So we definitely spent a lot of time at the beach, which was a lot of fun. Haley and I went to Build-A-Bear, which is kind of like a typical things that couples would do. We went to the Hollywood sign and took pictures at the Hollywood sign. We went out and had sushi for the first time for both of us. We went to Disney. We went to Malibu and did some surfing lessons. I've surfed pretty much my entire life, but I kind of taught her how to surf. We got a mani-pedi, which was my first mani-pedi, which I don't do well with mani-pedis, especially the pedi part, because I am very, very ticklish. So when those little Asian girls start touching my toes and tickling my feet, I can't stand it. You know, they're always very nice, and the massages feel good, but when they start touching my toes, I can't do it. And then also towards the end of the trip, we kind of did our whole birthday thing, because her birthday is towards the end of August, my birthday is right at the beginning of September, so this trip ended on the 19th, so it was, you know, kind of getting close to both of our birthdays. We wouldn't see each other on our birthdays, so we wanted to give each other presents. So for me, what I did for her is I took her out to dinner at Jeffrey's, which is a really, really high-end restaurant in Malibu. It overlooks the ocean. It's got really fancy food and stuff like that. And it's been a lot of TV shows and movies, and it's been an Entourage. If any of you guys watch that show, that's one of the more popular ones. But yeah, it was really, really good. And then after dinner, I took her to Zuma Beach, which is another beach in Malibu, and I gave her this diamond necklace. So that was my kind of like little gift to her as kind of like a mix of our 1 month anniversary, I guess you could say, as well as our birthdays. So yeah, that's what I did for her. Now, what'd you do for me?
Well, I did 2 things for you, and one that I made him was a tie blanket. I don't know if many of you know what that is, but it's just a blanket tied together, no sewing, nothing like that, all handmade. And they were the colors of kind of our hometown, I guess you could say. And that was just to kind of remind him that while he was gone, you know, home is always going to be with him. He can cuddle it when he misses me, which I know was pretty much every day.
Definitely.
And then I'm a big Pinterest guru, and I found this kind of like countdown to your birthday type thing. So I was there for 5 days, and I think there was like 19 or 20 days until his birthday. So I got 20 little gifts, and each one had like a meaning. So one was like some Swedish fish, and I said, like, you know, the caption was, "You've officially stolen my heart," or like some bouncy balls that say like, "You make my heart bounce." Just silly little things like that. A shovel that say, you know, "I dig you," and each bag said like, you know, day 10, day 9, and it just had a countdown all the way down until day 1, when it was finally his birthday, and he would be you know, opening his main gift, which was just, I think it was just filled with little like knickknacks, like Batman stuff, and just kind of to remind him of our first date.
Yeah.
Little pictures of us, a really ugly frame that I had painted.
No, it's cute.
It was really bad. No, it's fine. It was bad. And so yeah, he had a little countdown, so that way he had a present to open every day, because, you know, birthdays go by so quickly, so this kind of just lasted and kind of made it longer.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. I couldn't believe that she you know, brought out these 20 little bags for me, and it was also pretty cool because it gave us an excuse to every night we would FaceTime. You know, we would probably sit on FaceTime for an hour just talking to each other, but always at the end of the call we'd be like, "Oh, hey, let's open today's, you know, present. Let's see what it is." And it was just it was always kind of cool to see what she came up with. So it was really sweet, and I'm hoping that that I can find some of these pictures to share with you guys on screen. So anyway, over the next couple of months, we would just FaceTime, and I would fly back to Champaign whenever I could. I'd probably fly back, you know, usually once a month, sometimes twice a month. And we just, I don't know, we had a lot of fun. We did a lot of cool stuff. We went to homecoming. We had a road trip to Chicago with her little brother. I went to quite a few of her soccer tournaments, which she is a beast at soccer. It was always a lot of fun to watch her play. And then we also, you know, there were just a lot of other random stuff that we did that I'll flash pictures on screen. So we do a lot of bowling and a lot of putt-putt. Those are probably our 2 favorite things to do, especially putt-putt. Putt-putt's pretty, it gets competitive. I'm not gonna lie, we've gotten into bickerments, which is what we call like our little fights, because we don't necessarily have like full-blown fights, but we do have little bickering arguments. We've gotten into bickerments about putt-putt because we're both really, really strong-willed competitive people. So yeah, we did a lot of that. We went to a WWE event with her brother. I had my wisdom teeth taken out, and she took care of me all day, and we laid in bed and watched Breaking Bad, which was pretty cool. For Valentine's Day, this was pretty cool as well. So my gift to her for Valentine's Day was I went into her first class in the morning and put a giant 6-foot-tall teddy bear in her chair. So it was sitting there waiting for her, and then I took her out to eat later that night. And what she did for me for Valentine's Day was, you know, it kind of almost tops those 20 present countdowns for my birthday. So what'd you do?
Again, a little Pinterest craft that I found. Trevor, like most males out there, absolutely loves bacon. So here I was thinking, like, what can I do to incorporate bacon? So I made him these roses out of bacon. So they had like the flower and the stem, but the tops were actually edible bacon.
That's the best part, is that they were edible. Like, it's not like it's bacon that had been, doctored or glue was on it or anything like that where I couldn't eat it. I literally, like, she handed me this vase. I was like, oh, this is cute. We took a couple pictures, and then I ate the bacon off the top. That was, it was the coolest present ever. Bacon roses. How many of your guys' girlfriends have made you that? That's right. Didn't think so. So, she's honestly the best. Now, next up, we went to a Maroon 5 concert, which was another kind of pretty big highlight of our relationship. It was a lot of fun. And then kind of one of the more recent things that we've done that was a lot of fun that I'll never forget is our Florida vacation.
Yep. My family kind of goes there every year, and this year Trevor got to come with. And, when we go here, it's just a relaxing week. We really don't like to do much. We just look forward to a lot of time on the beach, spending time with family, going out to dinner, things like that. And unfortunately, the weather wasn't that great, but, that did not stop us. We got together with my brothers on the beach, and Trevor and I played paddleball. And, like you said with putt-putt, we are very competitive. So this paddleball game, we probably worked on for hours until we would beat our previous day's record. And I think we got up to like 168 or something
168,
crazy like
that was it. That's hitting it. It's almost like tennis, except on the beach, for those of you guys who haven't seen this, or you may be from the UK or something like that. It's these little paddles with a little bouncy ball that you hit back and forth. And so we hit it back and forth 168 times before it hit the ground, which I think is pretty impressive.
Yeah, stepping on shells, getting knocked over by waves. Like, it was hard work and a workout. We both, were probably really drenched in sweat.
Yeah, we were.
And, we also dug this giant hole that we made into a hot tub. My brother thought it would be a good idea to, like, put water in there. And Trevor claimed that we were going to dig to China until we found this big source of water that was going to magically heat itself and we'd make a hot tub. So,
And it actually ended up working.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't believe me at all. But honestly, if you go to a beach and you dig down far enough, you'll get water in there and the sun will heat it up. It'll be like a hot tub. So that's pretty cool.
So we just kind of camped out and made that our spot every day. We came to that little hot tub, had it, and hung out in there. And then we had one of the most epic war games, the card game War, and it, like we said, competitive, so this got serious.
There's a picture, like, this war game went on for probably an hour and a half in the morning one morning, and there's a picture on screen that I'm hoping I can find, but I think we had a quadruple war where we laid down the same card 4 times in a row, so there were like 15 to 20 cards at stake at this one time.
Queens, kings, like, whoever got this was gonna for sure win the game, and neither of us wanted to lose. Like, it was just probably gonna put us in a really bad mood if we lost.
Yeah, so that was definitely pretty cool. And then also in Florida, obviously we spent a lot of time on the beach with her, family and brothers and things like that. But we also went out on a few date nights. We went out to eat. We went putt-putting, which putt-putting in Florida, it's kind of cool. A lot of them have gators that you can feed, which is a lot of fun, like little baby gators. We also went on an 8-month picnic. So for our 8-month anniversary, we kind of tried to keep, track of how many months we've been going out and do little things for each other on those months, just to kind of make it a little bit special. So on our 8-month, I ordered a picnic basket and a picnic blanket to be sent to where we were staying, and then I went out and I got us sandwiches and drinks and put it in wine glasses. We were drinking Dr. Pepper out of wine glasses, kind of hanging out on the beach. It was like the cliche romantic picnic, but it worked out. It was a lot of fun. We enjoyed it. So there was that. Then we also went to the aquarium. Oh gosh. On this vacation in Florida, we got absolutely addicted to Subway Surfers. So Haley isn't really like a super hardcore gamer. She doesn't play Xbox or anything like that. Like, we'll play Wii together, and she plays quite a few games on the iPhones. Like, I think Flow is one of her favorites, but her brother got us absolutely addicted to Subway Surfers on this vacation.
And I mean, he is not joking when he says addicted. We would sit in our room at night instead of, we're in Florida. We should be at the beach. We should be doing really fun things. It would be like 9 o'clock at night, and we would be sitting in our beds playing Subway Surfers, like talking to each other, like, hey, have you unlocked Trixie, or have you gotten this new board? Like, we were seriously addicted.
How many more stereos do you need for Fresh, man? Like, oh my gosh, I'm so close. It was crazy how addicted we were to that game, and I still play it from time to time. I did get a little bit burnt out on it, but it was fun. It was, again, we kind of turned it into a competition. We turn a lot of stuff in our relationship into a little bit of a competition, which is always good. It's healthy to always kind of push each other to do better. So we did that, and then we also did a lot of shuffleboard. So we kind of played our role as an older couple, as old people, and I kicked her butt in shuffleboard. Yeah. I'm pretty good. Okay. I'm pretty good. Yeah. We probably tied most of the time, but Anyway, yeah, that was our Florida vacation, which was a lot of fun. And then recently, I don't know, we just been kind of hanging out. There really hasn't been a lot of crazy stuff that's been going on. We got a lot of traveling and stuff to do this summer with weddings and different things going on. We might head out to California for a week or two for a road trip. But one of the more recent things, really the most recent cool thing that we've done was prom. And I think I asked her out to prom in a pretty cool way. Why don't you tell them about it?
It was probably the coolest way that anyone from my high school has ever been asked. It was very unexpected, but it was one night, or I guess morning. Trevor came in and woke me up and this was a late start. My school they start like an hour later on Wednesdays, and so I was all looking forward to sleeping in, and it's like Trevor comes in and wakes me up early in the morning in this gorilla suit, and he refuses to speak to me. All he's gonna do is like these monkey sounds, like hoo 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 hoo, and like pounding his chest and just crazy stuff, waking me up. And like I said earlier, I hate when people wake me up. I get really cranky. So I'm yelling at him. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's refusing to talk to me. So he gets me up. I'm in my SpongeBob fuzzy pajama pants, like throw my hair up in a messy bun. Like I look crazy. And he throws me in the car and he just starts driving. Still not talking to me, not telling me where we're going. I'm yelling at him. I'm like, are you serious? I want to sleep in. What are you doing? And so then he pulls up to Sonic, this drive-thru, and he parks his car and just keeps like pounding like a monkey and making crazy noises. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you woke me up to take me out to breakfast. Like, you know I don't even like breakfast foods. And I'm furious. And next thing I know, I see him just point. So I follow his finger and I see him pointing to this billboard. And it's, it's got a picture of both of our heads photoshopped on these like gorilla bodies. And it says, I would go bananas if you'd go to prom with me. Or something along those lines of bananas and prom. And it was the cutest thing ever. Totally made me feel like such a horrible person for yelling at him. And then he pulled out 2 bananas and one said yes and one said no. And, I smiled. And next thing I know, my mom and brother pulled up in the car and like got the camera out, ready for a photo shoot. And so it was just the best way I had ever been asked to prom, as opposed to a text and my car filled with balloons previous years.
So yeah, I kind of killed it. It was a lot of fun. And I think the billboard was up for a week. So, it was right next to her school. It was on kind of like the main drag where there's a lot of fast food places and, where everybody goes to lunch from her high school. So, a lot of the kids from her high school, her friends, her classmates, things like that, were able to see this billboard. And she was kind of like the talk of the school for a week, which was kind of cool. That's kind of what I was going for. So, yeah, that was that. And then we went to prom, obviously, which was in the University of Illinois football stadium in the Colonnades Club. And that was a lot of fun. I'll put some pictures on screen. I think we looked really, really good. We decided to kind of mix it up. I went with a tan tuxedo rather than the normal, black or gray. So I really liked it. We matched really well. It was definitely one of the most fun nights of my life. And I don't think I've ever seen her look more beautiful than she did that night. So it was definitely a great evening. I'll never forget it. And for all you guys who are in high school, I would definitely make sure you guys go to prom, even if you don't know who you're gonna ask. Just put yourself out there, and you'll have a good time. So that's kind of where we're at. I mean, not really much has gone on lately, like I said. So we're just kind of hanging out, enjoying each other's company, and we've been dating for a little bit over 10 months. So we're almost to the 1 year, which is it's not the longest relationship in the world, but it is starting to get up there. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, I've got a second part to this dual commentary coming tomorrow, where my girl Haley and I are going to be answering your guys' questions. We've got a little bit over 50 questions, so it should be pretty good. Thank you guys for sticking around. If you stuck around this far, this has been a pretty long video, but I think a lot of you guys have enjoyed it. So, check out one of the other videos on the screen if you haven't seen me yet. Catch you guys later. She always laughs at me that I say that so fast.
Can you even understand what he's saying? I mean, come on.
Check out one of the other 2 videos on screen if you have not seen them yet. Thank you guys for watching.
Perfect.
Peace out.
Bye.